Welcome to Story Sprouts, where imagination and magic grow every day. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's magical story. In the kingdom of Andora, nestled between rolling hills and deep, mist-covered valleys, there was a queen whose wisdom was legendary. Her name was Queen Elara, a ruler loved by her people for her fairness and kindness. Her reign brought prosperity and peace, but there was one thing that eluded her: a deep, unspoken connection to the Whispering Wood, the vast, magical forest that bordered her kingdom. The Whispering Wood was no ordinary forest. For centuries, it had been a source of mystery and wonder, a place where magic flowed through every leaf, every branch, and every stream. Legend spoke of the heart of the forest, a magical force that kept the land in balance. It was said that only those pure of heart could enter the forest and find its source of power. Yet, few had ever returned from the forest's depths, and the magic of the heart remained but a legend. For years, Queen Elara had ignored the pull of the forest. She was a ruler after all, and had to focus on the needs of her people. But as time passed, something changed. The seasons no longer followed their natural course. A drought swept across Andora, drying the rivers and wilting the crops. The people began to suffer, and despite all her efforts, Queen Elara could find no solution. It was then that the whispers of the forest grew louder in her ears. She knew that the heart of the forest held the power to restore balance to her land. But it was not a simple task to find it. The forest was ancient, alive with magic, and its depths were fraught with trials. Elara, desperate to save her kingdom, made a decision. She would enter the forest herself. Disguised in a simple cloak, she set out alone, leaving behind her crown and her royal duties for a quest that could either save or doom her kingdom. Only her most trusted advisor, Eryndor, a wise owl who had served her since her childhood, accompanied her. The journey to the Whispering Wood was long, and as they neared its border, the forest seemed to come alive. The trees whispered in languages older than time, and the air shimmered with unseen magic. Elara felt a chill run down her spine, but her resolve remained strong. She was determined to find the heart of the forest and save her people. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the trees grew taller, their branches intertwining to form a canopy so dense that no sunlight could penetrate. The forest was alive with strange sounds, rustling leaves, distant howls, and the occasional soft flutter of wings. Elara knew that the creatures of the forest watched her, but none dared approach. Her presence seemed to resonate with the ancient magic, as though she was a part of the forest itself. After several days of travel, Elara reached a clearing. In the center stood a massive oak tree, its bark etched with runes that glowed faintly in the twilight. At the base of the tree was a pool of water, clear and still. Elara knelt beside it, and the water began to ripple, forming the image of a beautiful spirit. A woman with long silver hair and eyes like the stars. "I am Elara, the keeper of the heart," the spirit said, her voice a soft melody carried by the wind. "You seek the heart of the forest to save your kingdom. But before you can claim it, you must prove yourself worthy." Elara stood tall and replied, "I am ready. What must I do?" Elara smiled gently, her eyes filled with ancient knowledge. "The forest will test you. You must complete 3 trials: the trial of wisdom, the trial of courage, and the trial of sacrifice. Only then will you reach the heart." Elara nodded, her heart resolute. She would face whatever came her way. The first trial took her to a labyrinth of stone, hidden deep within the forest. The walls were ancient and covered in ivy, and the air was thick with the scent of moss and earth. As Elara ventured deeper into the maze, she encountered a series of riddles carved into the stones. The first riddle asked, "What can be broken, but never touched?" Elara paused, thinking carefully. After a moment, she whispered, "A promise." The walls of the labyrinth shifted, and she was allowed to continue. The second riddle asked, "What is always ahead, but never in sight?" Elara thought for a long while before answering, "The future." Again, the maze opened before her, and she moved forward. The final riddle asked, "What is the greatest power of all?" Elara closed her eyes, remembering the lessons she had learned. As a ruler, "Love," she said quietly. The maze dissolved, and Elara found herself standing at the edge of a great cliff, overlooking a vast valley. The second trial was the trial of courage. As Elara descended the cliffside, she came upon a creature unlike anything she had ever seen. Half lion, half serpent, with scales that glistened like molten gold. The beast snarled and lunged at her, its eyes burning with fury. Elara stood, her ground, her heart racing, but instead of drawing her sword, she spoke softly to the creature. "I do not wish to fight," she said. "I only seek to pass through." The creature paused, its eyes narrowing as if studying her. It circled her, its claws scraping against the stone. Finally, the beast bowed its head and stepped aside, allowing Elara to pass. "You have courage, Queen Elara," it rumbled. "But it is not strength alone that you must rely on." The third and final trial was the most difficult of all. Elara came upon a shimmering crystal, suspended in mid-air. It pulsed with an otherworldly light, and Elara knew that this was the heart of the forest. But as she reached out to touch it, a voice echoed in her mind. "To claim the heart, you must give up that which you love most." Elara hesitated. She thought of her kingdom, her people, the life she had built. To save them, she would have to let go of something dear to her. She closed her eyes and whispered, "I sacrifice my throne, my crown, and the life I knew as queen." At that moment, the crystal flared with a brilliant light, and the magic of the forest surged through her. The ground trembled, and a warm breeze blew through the clearing. The heart of the forest had accepted her sacrifice, and the balance of the land was restored. When Elara returned to her kingdom, the drought had ended. The rivers flowed once more, and the crops began to bloom. The people rejoiced, but Elara was not the same queen who had left. She no longer wore her crown, but her wisdom, her kindness, and her strength had grown tenfold. She ruled with a humble heart, knowing that true power came not from wealth or titles, but from the willingness to listen, to sacrifice, and to serve. And so, Queen Elara became a legend in her own right, a ruler who had not only saved her kingdom, but had forged an unbreakable bond with the Whispering Wood, a bond that would protect Andora for generations to come. the forest whispered her name forevermore, a reminder of the queen who had sacrificed everything for the good of her people. Thanks for watching Story Sprouts. We hope you had fun and felt the magic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can join us for more amazing stories and adventures. See you next time, little adventurers!